So today I'll be talking a little bit about Project Rap Rabbit, which is a game that's currently on Kickstarter trying to be funded. It's about a little bit of less than a fifth of the way there of its $1 million goal. With about 4 days left, it really doesn't look like it's going to make it. But a lot of time with these crowd-funded projects, people will wait till the last minute, and that's when they'll start opening up their wallets to try to save it. I think there's something about wanting to see projects not fail that really gets people motivated at the end. But then again, I could be wrong. Maybe there just isn't enough interest in this kind of old style, short, very niche kind of game. So some of the problems I think this game is having is that the concept isn't exactly really well spelled out for the viewer. It's a rapping game which makes you think about Parappa, but at this point that original concept is a little bit too worn out and simplistic for most gamers. It's really hard for me to go back and want to play those games outside of maybe the novelty. I mean, Parappa had its sequels in Jeremy Lammy and Parappa 2, and I don't know how much people were clamoring for another one of those. So after their initial Kickstarter post, and some outcry about the price of the Switch tier, they posted a video about how the gameplay would be. And to be honest, it wasn't very captivating. Some people seem to think that it's the lack of production values, or the cheesy voice acting. I mean, the video even points out that the rapping is done by the game developer Keiichi Yano, which, by the way, I think he does a great job rapping. But personally, I don't think those are the problems. I think the mistake that they made was that it's too complicated for the naked eye. When you first watch the video, there's all these graphs and charts and systems on the screen. There are these menus he's selecting, which I guess controls what you say. But if anything, all that does is make me doubt that the system is going to work correctly. And again, I think this gameplay footage just confuses people. I mean, I've played every single game that both of those developers have created, and I have no idea how this system is going to work. So I can't imagine how others are feeling. So here's what I think they should have focused on. Of all the games that Matsuura-san and Yano-san have created, the most memorable ones have always had this heartfelt story. Even in Elite Beat Agents, where the story was about this male cheerleading squad, they found a way to be funny, to be inspirational, and even pull at your heartstrings. Just look up Ghost Story from Ouendan 1, Sisters from Ouendan 2, Christmas Gift from Elite Beat Agents, or the legendary theme from Guitar Man. With games, you can either show the gameplay or the story. And within the rhythm genre, gameplay has never been the most interesting to watch. I mean, have you ever tried to watch the screen when someone's playing DDR? So that's why I would tell you to support this project. Undoubtedly, there will be a heartfelt story to be told. And there's bound to be loads of humor and quirkiness. The game is being set in a very Japanese time period, which may or may not work for some people. I know there are some grumblings about how rhythm games are short, and how the price tag doesn't fit the gameplay time, but I have never looked back on Guitar Man and said, oh man, that game was only 12 stages long. For me, it was an amazing and unique experience, one that you don't see very often in games. It had fantastic music and a memorable story. Even now, 15 years later, it's still in my top 10 games of all time. And so are the games from the Ouendan series. So for those of you who missed out on those for whatever reason, either because you were too young or couldn't find a copy of the game, or maybe you're like me who just wants to experience a new generation of that type of game, I have confidence that Project Rap Rabbit will be that. We'll just have to see if it can get funded. So thanks for listening, and we'll see you again next time.